All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. Folks, with all the turmoil that has gone down this season, just the entire season, especially firing Josh McDaniels a couple of weeks ago, the Las Vegas Raiders are sitting here at 5-5, and one thing is abundantly clear to me. They're littered with talent. They're just littered with talent. Nonetheless, I'm so excited for the future and the current present state of the Las Vegas Raiders. I genuinely think that first off, they were 3-5 with all of the Josh McDaniels drama going down. They fire him. Antonio Pierce comes on in as the interim head coach, puts together probably the most complete game from the Raiders that I've seen in over a calendar year against the New York Giants. Then they play this past Sunday night primetime football against one of the best defenses in the National Football League in the New York Jets, and they take them down. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't sexy, but hey man, a win is a win. They're 5-5. All of a sudden, the Las Vegas Raiders are in the playoff hunt. And it's just so clear to me. I have Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs in the league. I have Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers in the league. I have Max Crosby, who's on a tier of his own. They have young talent, guys like Aiden O'Connell coming on in here, stepping up and getting back-to-back wins. This team is talented. They're talented. Now, would I love the first, second, or third pick in this upcoming year's NFL draft? 100%. But for me, when I look at this Raiders team, what's more important is momentum. Momentum in all of sports is extremely important, but the last year and a half in the Josh McDaniels era, after going 10-7 with Bellagio, they've been downhill. They've just steadily been downhill, and I have to commend Mark Davis for actually firing Josh McDaniels this early into his contract tenure. And we're going to talk about everything Raiders in tonight's video. But guys, before we do, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Raiders fans, try and get this video to 250 likes. That would mean the absolute world to me. So here's the thing, man. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback of the future. To be quite honest with you, I'm not worried about it, because even with all of what happened last season, and Raiders fans know exactly what I'm talking about right now, with everything that happened last year, with everything that happened through the first 8 games of the regular season, the Raiders' energy, the vibe, it just shifted. It completely shifted the second, literally to the second, that Josh McDaniels was fired. And when I take a look at a team like the Raiders, it's a big market. You're here in Vegas. You have clear talent, all those players we listed, but it gets even deeper than that. I just want them to be good. I think the NFL is just good. I think when Raiders football is good, that everybody wins. I just think, 5-5 here, we're learning a lot about this team. And to be honest with you, we're about to learn a lot more about this team this upcoming Sunday when they take on the Miami Dolphins. So do I think the Raiders are going to go 9-8 or 10-7 or 12-5 or what have you? Not necessarily. But at the end of the day, the momentum's back on their favor. And sports, like we just mentioned, it's all about momentum. And it's just something I have not felt. That fire, that tenacity, that passion. I think that was the word that I've been looking for, or the Raiders, have been looking for the last year and a half. Is Josh McDaniels a smart offensive guru? Probably. Is he a good leader of men? Absolutely not. Clearly not. Antonio Pierce, literally 48, 24 hours, 1 minute, whatever you want to say, flipped this team around immediately. These guys respect him, they like him, and they are willing to play for him. And that's just something I did not ever really feel in the Josh McDaniels era. So the past is the past. Now, I do want to say, if the Raiders win this upcoming weekend against the Miami Dolphins, they'll probably make the playoffs, which is just absolutely crazy considering the way last year went, the way the season began. So let's talk a little about Aiden O'Connell, because when I watch TV or I read articles or what have you that are not Raiders affiliated, everybody's just kind of likes to nitpick this Raiders team and say, yeah, you know what, they made a good move firing Josh McDaniels. Are they even going to get the next head coach right? Are they even going to get their next first round draft pick, i.e. Tyree Wilson, right? And to me, it just simply doesn't matter. Aiden O'Connell has the rest of the season. We've got 7 regular season games left. And yes, Aiden O'Connell played a big role in that Los Angeles Chargers game early on in the season. But at the end of the day, he's not really getting the benefit of the doubt. For some reason, this guy, he can throw a football. Aiden O'Connell can throw a football. Is he a franchise QB? Who knows? By the end of the season, I promise you, we're going to have a better idea on what do we really have with Aiden O'Connell? Right? You've got some big time defensive games. You've got some big time games at Miami this upcoming Sunday, home against the Chiefs. Then you hit your bye week, and the rest of the season you've got Minnesota, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Colts, the Broncos. Over half of those teams at least are playoff contenders. So I'm not writing them off for the playoffs because, like I said, the fact that they're 5-5 with everything that has gone on is it's just utterly impressive. It just really is that impressive. But as far as like people, talking heads on TV or what have you, just saying like, oh, I don't really think Aiden's that guy. That to me, and I think Raiders fans would agree with what I'm about to say here. To me, that's like the last of my concerns. It really is. We'll deal with that in the upcoming offseason. We'll deal with that with a new GM, with a new head coach. The point is, the Raiders are back on track. So when we take a look at that game against the Jets, everybody was just kind of saying like, oh, Aiden O'Connell didn't really look good. If you look at Jets defense, which is like a top 5 unit, and I don't think anybody in the world could dispute their top 5 defense, they make guys look embarrassed. They make him look absolutely embarrassed. And so you throw in Aiden O'Connell, a rookie who has only started barely a football game, and he wins it. To me, that's impressive. So what I want the Raiders to do for the rest of the season is just keep stacking wins. The wins don't necessarily have to be in the win-loss column, but let's just say, you lose by 1 possession to the Miami Dolphins. Aiden O'Connell and this team look solid. Just keep stacking wins. Keep stacking and building that momentum. One thing that I think a lot of people were pleasantly surprised with over here on this channel, we were not all that surprised. The Raiders defense is a lot better than people thought. A lot better than people thought. Guys, they're giving up just 20 points per game. They're the 13th rated defense in the league. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But we got to keep in mind, before Josh McDaniels got fired, this team had 1 game over 20 points. And that was against a really solid defense in the New England Patriots, might I add. But to me, the concerns do not come defensively. And now that Jimmy G's from basically my hometown, so I'm not trying to rag on the guy, but now that Jimmy G and Josh McDaniels seem to be done with the Raiders, I feel like they're back. I just feel like they're back. I think a flip switched the second that dude got fired, and you're going to start, and we heard it the second he got fired. We saw it, minutes and days leading up to him getting fired. These guys just didn't like him. So for me, all that's important for the Raiders is to end the season on a high note, whatever that means. And then obviously you got to get your guys right. By guys, I mean GM. By guys, I mean head coach. I need a leader of men. Harbaugh would be freaking money. I don't know if that's realistic. I think it's quite realistic, but a coach like that would change this entire franchise's trajectory. All right. But the firing of Josh McDaniels already signified that they are sick of this. All right. So shout out to Mark Davis, which is something I didn't think I would say this season. Guys, that's it for tonight. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Raiders fans, let me know what you guys are thinking down below. That's it from me. Peace.